My dear students, how are you? I hope everyone is fine at your home. Do you remember, children, what we have discussed in the last class? Yes, properties of addition and example sums and problems in exercise 1.1 based on properties of addition. Now we are going to continue the problems in exercise 1.1. Second sum, subdivision A. Verify that 23 plus 14 plus 52 is equal to 23 plus 4 plus 52. That is, we have to check both the LHS answer and the RHS answer are equal or not. First, we are considering the LHS. What is the LHS? 23 plus 14 plus 52. First, you have to add the second and the third integer first. You add 14 plus 52, what do you get? 66. Next, you have to add the 66 with first integer. You get the answer 89. Let it be equation number 1. Next, consider RHS. What is RHS? 23 plus 14 plus 52. First, you have to add the first and the second integer. What do you get? 37. Next, you have to add the 37 with third integer. So, you get 37 plus 52, 89. Let it be equation number 2. By comparing the equation 1 and 2, you get the same answer. So, you have to write 23 plus 14 plus 52 is equal to 23 plus 14 plus 52 is verified. Suppose if you get different answer means here you have to write the symbol not equal. It's clear? See the next one. You have to write the associative property of addition for the taking the integers A, B and C. Okay. You have to write the associative property for addition of A, B and C. How can you write? A plus B plus C is equal to, now you have to change the bracket for the first two integer. A plus B plus C. You can also write A plus B plus C is equal to A plus B plus C. Both are correct, children. See the next one. What is the additive identity of minus 6? What is meant by additive identity, children? If you add any number with additive identity or additive identity with any number, if you add, you get the same number. What is the additive identity of integers? Yes, 0. Not only for the number minus 6, for any integers, the additive identity is 0. That is, you have to write additive identity of minus 6 is 0. That is, minus 6 plus 0 or 0 plus minus 6, you get minus 6 only. Okay? See the next one. Which integer is its own additive identity? What they are asking is, you have to find one integer, you should have its own additive identity. What is that number? Yes, 0 only. If you add 0 with 0, you get 0. So the answer is 0. Write the additive inverse of minus 212. That is, you have to find one integer. If you add the integer with minus 212, you get the additive identity. What is the additive identity? 0. So what is the number should be there? Added to minus 212. Yes, positive of 212. That is, minus 212 plus 212 or 212 plus minus 212. You get what is the answer? 0. What is 0? 0 is the additive identity. So we can call this number as additive inverse of minus 212. Thus we have to write additive inverse of minus 212 is 212. It's clear, children? See the next one. Write down the integers, if any, that do not have inverses under addition. What they are asking is, you have to write the integers that do not have inverses under addition. That is, you have to write the integers which did not have inverse under addition. In the integers, what are the numbers they have? Positive number, negative numbers. For every positive number, there should be a negative number. Similarly, for every negative number, there should be a positive number. For example, if you take 3 means, what is the inverse of 3 is minus 3. So, if you add plus 3 with minus 3, you get 0. So, for every integers, they have its own additive inverse. So, you have to write no such integers. It's clear? What is the next question? Write down the integers that are their own inverses under addition. So, what is the answer? Yes, 0 is the additive inverse of itself. That is another element. 0 is the additive inverse of itself. In the homework, what I have asked is, you have to write the properties of addition. But many of you written closure property, commutative property, associative property itself. They left additive identity and additive inverse. But properties of addition includes all these 5 children. That is, if you are asking to write the properties of addition means you have to write closure property, commutative, associative, additive identity, and also additive inverse. That's all the properties of addition, children. Next we are going to see the properties of subtraction, and then we will see the remaining sums in exercise 1.1. See, what is the first property we are going to see for operation subtraction? Closure property. See this example. We are taking two integer 8 and 2 and we are applying the operation subtraction here. 8 minus 2. What is the answer? 6. 6 is also an integer. Next we are taking two integer. One is positive and another one is negative and applying the operation subtraction. What is the answer? 20 minus into minus plus 10, you get the answer 30. 30 is also an integer. Next we are taking two integer minus 15 minus 7, you get the answer minus 22. This result is also an integer. Thus we are taking two integers and applying the operation subtraction, you again get the integer. Thus we can say integers are closed under subtraction. In the property of addition, what we are saying? If you take two integers a comma b, then a plus b is also an integer. Here how can we say, children? A and b are two integer, then a minus b is also an integer. It's clear, children? Okay. Next we are going to see commutative property. Commutative property means you have to take two elements. Consider this example. What are the two integers we are taking? 12 and 18. We are applying the operation subtraction here. 12 minus 8 is 4. Now we are changing the order of subtraction. See, first we are writing 8 and then writing 12. What is the answer? As per the rule 2, if the given integers are different means you have to subtract the smaller number from the bigger number and the result take the symbol of the larger number. So the answer is minus 4. See, children, this is plus 4. This is minus 4. Both are same, children. No, they are not same number. This is positive number, this is negative number. Thus, if we change the order of the element of subtraction, we get different answers. See the next example. 5 minus 3 is equal to 2. Now we are changing the places. 3 minus 8, what do you get? Minus 2. Thus, 2 and minus 4 same, children? No, they are different. Thus, if the order of the subtraction of integers are changed, the answer we get is different. Thus, we can say integers are not commutative under subtraction, but integers are commutative under addition. But in the case of subtraction, the commutative property is not hold. So you have to write thus integers are not commutative under subtraction. Similarly, we will write a minus b not equal to b minus a. It's clear, children? Next, we are going to see the associative property for the operation subtraction. See the board. We are considering the example here. Taking three integers 9, 8, 3. First, we are subtracting second and third first. So you have to put the bracket here, children. 8 minus 3. What is that, sir? 5. Next, we have to subtract the 5 from the first integer. You get the answer 4. Consider the same three integer. See here. First, we are going to subtract the first two integer here. Here, we have subtracted second and third. Here, we are subtracting the first and second first. What is the answer? 9 minus 8. 1. Minus 3. 1 minus 3 answer is minus 2. Thus we get the different answer. Here 4, here minus 2. So from this example, what we have concluded, children? We say that integers are not associative under the operation subtraction. But in the case of addition, integers are associative. If you take two integers, 3 integers, 1 plus 2 plus 3. What do you get the answer? 3 plus 2, 5, 5 plus 1, 6. If you add in any order, you get the answer 6 only. But in the case of subtraction, the integers fails to be associative, children. That's why we are saying integers are not associative under subtraction. Thus we can write if A, B and C are any three integers, integers, then a minus b minus c not equal to a minus b minus c. It's clear, children? Suppose if it is the operation is addition means here you have what symbol? Equal symbol. But in the case of subtraction you have not equal to. Thus in the process, in the operation of subtraction, integers are not associative. Next we are going to see identity under subtraction. What is the additive identity? 0. But in the case of subtraction, what is the identity? Is there is no identity. That is, there is no integer which can be identity under subtraction. For the operation of subtraction, we can't find any integer which is to be the identity for the subtraction. So the identity is not exist. So we cannot define an inverse for integers under subtraction. Thus, for the properties of subtraction, it holds only one property. It is closure property. Thus, integer is not commutative under subtraction, not associative under subtraction. It did not have identity under subtraction. It did not have inverse under subtraction. Thus, in the process of subtraction, the integers fails in the four properties. It holds only one property. It is closure property. Next we are going to see the exercise problem in 1.1 based on the properties of subtraction. See here, sixth sum. Give a counter example to show that integers are not commutative under subtraction. We already know, children, integers are not commutative. But what they are asking is, we have to show by the example, by using this example, we have to show that integers are not commutative. I do the first sum, the second sum to be your homework, children. See the first one. What is the two integers they are giving? 23 and minus 18. One is positive and another one is negative. How you check the commutative property? First, you have to subtract the given two integers. 23 minus 18. Thus, we are writing the given two integers. One positive integer, one negative integer, and we are applying the operation subtraction between these two integers. What is the answer? 23. Removing the bracket, minus into minus plus 18. So 23 plus 18. What is the answer? 41. Let it be the equation 1. Now change the order of subtraction of integer. First, next we are taking minus 18 first and then 23 next. So subtracting these two integers, we get minus 41. Let it be the equation number 2. Comparing the equation 1 and 2, what we get, children? 23 minus of minus 18 is not equal to minus 18 minus 23. Thus, we have given the counter example for subtraction is not commutative by using the integers 23 and minus 18. Next, we are going to see the seventh sum. Verify that 23 minus 17 minus 7 is not equal to 23 minus 17 minus 9. See, first we are taking the LHS. What is the LHS? 23 minus 17 minus 9. First we have to evaluate the integers in the bracket. 23 minus 17. What is the answer? 6. Write the minus 9 as it is. 6 minus 9. What is the answer, children? Yes, minus 3. Let it be the equation number 1. Now we have to consider the RHS. 23 minus 17 minus 9, which is equal to 23 minus. So you have to subtract these two integers first. 17 minus 9. What is the answer? 8. 23 minus 8. What is your answer? 15. Let it be the equation 1. Thus, from the equation 1 and 2, we can easily conclude this is negative integer, this is the positive integer. You get the different answer. They are not equal. So you have to write it as 23 minus 17 minus 9 is not equal to 23 minus 17 minus 9. See the substitution B in the seventh question. Show that the associative property does not hold for integers under subtraction. We have to take any three integers and we have to prove that the integers are not associative under the subtraction. I take the three integers 2, 3, 1. You can also take some other integers, children. First I am subtracting the first two integers. Next I am subtracting the second and third integer. See here, 2 minus 3 minus 1. If you subtract the 3 from 2, what is the answer? Minus 1. Write the minus 1 as it is. Thus, minus 1, what is your answer? Minus 2. Let it be the equation number 1. And take this, the subtraction, that is, you are taking a third integer from the second integer. That is, you are subtracting the 1 from 3. You get the answer 2. Write the first integer as it is. 2 minus 2. What is the answer for 2 minus 2? 0. But in the equation 1 you get minus 2. But in the equation 2 you get 0. Thus 2 minus 3 minus 1 is not equal to 2 minus 3 minus 1. It is in the operation of addition, means in both sides you get the same answer. But in the operation of subtraction, both sides you get the different answer. Thus we can write a minus b minus c is not equal to a minus b minus c. That is, integers are not associative under the operation subtraction. Next is the 8th sum. You have to give the examples of one positive and negative integers whose sum is minus 18. That is, you have to find two integers. If you add the two integers, you get the answer minus 18. These sums have many solutions, children. One of the solutions is I have given. You can also find some other numbers to get the answer minus 18. See here, I take the positive integer b 2 and the negative integer b minus 20. Why I am taking the negative integer as bigger than the positive integer is, in the result, in the what is the given in the question, minus 18. So the result get the symbol minus. So among the two numbers, you have to give the minus symbol for the bigger number. So I give the negative symbol to the bigger number. Thus, what is the operation they given in the question? Sum. So you have to add the two integers. Thus, 2 plus minus 20. Sum means what? Add 2 plus minus 20. Now I am going to remove the bracket. 2 plus into minus minus 20. Subtract the smaller number from the bigger number. You get 18. And the result take the big symbol of the larger number. Thus minus 18. Thus we can find the two integers. One is positive and another one is negative, whose sum is minus 18. See the next one. You have to find two negative integers whose sum is minus 21. In this sum, one is positive and another one is negative. But here, both should be the negative integer, but their sum should be minus 21. See here, I take the two integer minus 20 and minus 1. What is the operation here given? Sum. So you have to put the symbol plus. Minus 20 plus minus 1. Now I am going to remove the bracket. Plus into minus, minus plus. Minus 20 minus 1. What is the answer? Minus 21. You can also find some other numbers to get the sum minus 21, children. Okay. Thus we have find the two negative integers minus 20 and minus 1 to give the sum minus 21. It's clear, children? Next we are going to see 8th sum, subdivision C. One negative and one positive integer whose difference is minus 9. That is, you have to find one negative integer and one positive integer whose difference is minus 9. What is the operation for difference, children? Yes, subtraction. Let the negative integer be minus 8 and positive integer be plus 1. So, difference equal to, first you have to write the negative integer, that is minus 8 minus difference. So, you have to put the operation subtraction, that is minus, and next write the positive integer plus 1. Now remove the bracket. Minus 8 minus into plus minus 1. As per the rule 1, given integers are of same sign. So you have to add the integer, you get the minus sign. I also give the one more example, one more solution to you, children. That is, I will take the negative integer be minus 5 and positive integer be plus 4. Minus 5, remove the bracket, minus into plus minus 4, thus you get the minus 9. You will also find some more solution to this problem. Okay. Next we are going to see the subdivision B. Two negative integers whose difference is 14. That is, you have to find two negative integers whose difference is 14. Let the two negative integers be, I have taken the two negative integers as minus 10 and minus 24. While you are arranging the numbers, secondly you have to write the larger number, because while removing the bracket you get the symbol plus here. That is, first you have to write the minus 10 minus of minus 24. But why you are writing minus here? Because in the question they have given the difference. So you are writing minus here. That is minus 10 minus minus 24. That is minus into minus plus 24. That is given two integers are in opposite side. So you have to subtract the smaller number from the larger number. You get the answer 14. Thus we have find the two negative integers whose difference is 14. It's clear, children? See the next one, 9th sum. Very important sum, children. Subtract the sum of minus 368 and 245 from minus 211. Okay, listen the question carefully, children. What they are giving is you have to subtract the sum of means first you have to add these two integers. Okay, first you have to add these two integers, you get one sum, and then you have to subtract that sum from minus 211. It's clear, children? First you have to add minus 368 and 245, you get one sum. After you get that sum, you have to subtract that sum from minus 211. It's clear, children? Okay, first we are going to find the sum of minus 368 and 245. Sum means what is the operation? Yes, addition. Thus, we are adding minus 368 and 245. Therefore, we have found the answer as minus 123. That is, given two integers are in opposite side. So, you have to subtract the smaller number from the larger number, and the answer takes the symbol of the larger number. Thus, we get the answer minus 123. And what is the information given in the question? You have to subtract this sum from minus 211. Thus, we are writing subtract the sum from minus 211. What is the sum we got? Minus 123. That is, subtract minus 123 from minus 211. Thus, we are writing first you have to write minus 211. After the number which comes from, after the word from, you have to write first. So, you have to write first minus 211 minus, and then you have to write this sum minus 123. By removing the bracket, you get minus into minus plus minus 211 plus 123. As per the rule 2, we are subtracting. You get the answer minus 88. Thus, we have subtracted the sum from minus 211. We get the answer minus 88. It's clear, children? Next, we are going to see the sum 10. That is, the sum of two integers is minus 117. If one of the integer is 85, find the other. What is given in the question is they are taking two integers and adding the two integers, they get the answer minus 117. And also they are given one of the integers is 85, and what they are asking is find the other integer. But first we are writing what are the given statements. What are the given information in the question? Sum of the two integers is minus 117 and one of the integers is 85. What we have to find? We have to find the other integer. So we are taking that other integer be x. Therefore, by the given statement, we are adding the two integers, you get minus 117. So, one of the integer is we have to find. So, we are taking the value as it as x. So, you write here as x plus 85 is equal to minus 117. Do you understand this step, children? That is, adding these two integers, you get minus 117. One of the integer is 85. You have to find the value of x. In order to find the value of x, we are bringing this 85 to this side. Here, the 85 have plus symbol. By coming this side, the symbol changes into minus. Here, plus means coming this side means you get minus. Here, multiplication means here divide. Here, divide means here multiplication. It's clear, children? Thus, x equal to minus 117 plus 85 come this side means minus 85. As per rule 1, given two integers are of same sign. So, add these two integers, you get minus 202. Thus, the other integer is minus 202. If you add minus 202 with 85, you get the answer minus 117. Okay. Next we are going to see 12th sum, children. We will see the 11th sum later. Okay. See the 12th sum. It is very easy sum, children. The temperature on a winter morning at a hill station was minus 4 degrees Celsius. That is, they are observing the temperature of a hill station in the winter season. What is the temperature? It is minus 4 degrees Celsius. Okay. After 6 hours, it rose by 6 degrees Celsius. Don't think rose as a flower, children. This is the past tense of rise. That is increasing. After 6 hours, the temperature is increased up to 6 degrees Celsius. Okay. By evening, in the evening, once again they are observing the temperature. It had fallen. Fallen means decreasing by 3 degrees Celsius. In the morning, it is minus 4 degrees Celsius. And after 6 hours, it is increased up to 6 degrees Celsius. But in the evening, it is fallen into 3 degrees Celsius. What is the question? What was the temperature in the evening? Now we are going to calculate it. Okay. First you have to write the steps. What is the morning temperature? Minus 4 degrees Celsius. After 6 hours, 6 degrees Celsius. In the evening, 3 degrees Celsius. How can we calculate the temperature in the evening, children? Listen carefully. Temperature in the evening equal to, listen here. First you have to write minus 4 degrees Celsius. Next here you have to add the 6 degrees Celsius. Why we are adding this 6 degrees Celsius is, here the temperature is rising, that is increasing. So you have to put the symbol plus here. And then you have to write minus 3 degrees Celsius. Why you are putting minus symbol? It is fallen temperature, that is decreasing. So you have to arrange the symbol minus for 3 degrees Celsius. So add first minus 4 degrees Celsius and 6 degree. What do you get? 2 degrees Celsius. And write minus 3 degrees Celsius as it is. And then evaluating these two, you get minus 1 degree Celsius. Thus, temperature in the evening is minus 1 degree Celsius. It's clear, children?
My dear students, in today's activity, you are going to learn about divisibility by 2. By seeing a number, how do you say it is divisible by 2 or not? Here you have a hint. What is it? All the even numbers are divisible by 2. So you have to check whether the given number is even number or not. If it is even means you can say it is divisible by 2. Otherwise you say it is not divisible by 2. Okay, what is mean by divisible by 2? If you divide a given number by 2, it should leave the remainder as 0. Then only you can say the given number is divisible by 2. So this is the meaning of the term divisible by 2. Okay. Now if a number is given to you, you have to say whether it is divisible by 2 or not. How do you say? You have to check it is even or not. If it is even, you have to say it is divisible by 2. Otherwise, you have to say it is not divisible by 2. Thus, it is very clear all the even numbers are divisible by 2. Okay. How do you find the given number is even number? See here. Even numbers ends with 0 or 2 or 4 or 6 or 8. It means if the digit in the units place of a number is either 0 or 2 or 4 or 6 or 8, we can say that number is even numbers. Here you have some examples. See these numbers. 130. What is the digit in the unit place? 0. So 130 is a even number. So it is divisible by 2. See the second one, 512. What is the digit in the unit place? 2. So the number 512 is an even number. So we can say it is divisible by 2. It means if you divide the number 512 by 2, you get the remainder as 0. See the third one, 794. What is the units place number? 4. So the number is an even number. So it is divisible by 2. See the fourth one, 776. It is also an even number because it ends with 6. So it is also divisible by 2. See the last one, 978. So its units place number is 8. So it is an even number. So it is also divisible by 2. So from this what we have conclude, all the even numbers are divisible by 2. How do you find the even numbers? The numbers which are ends with 0 or 2 or 4 or 6 or 8 are said to be even numbers. Otherwise, it is said to be odd numbers. Okay? See the chart, student. What you are seeing? You are seeing the numbers from 1 to 100. Among these numbers, the number which are highlighted by blue, observe that numbers, they are ends with 2 or 4 or 6 or 8 or 0. So we can easily say they are even numbers. So we can say it is divisible by 2. From this chart, you can easily understand that the numbers which are highlighted are divisible by 2. It means if you divide the numbers by 2, definitely you get the remainder as 0. It's clear, children? My dear children, in today's activity, we are going to discuss the concept division. Okay. First, we are going to see one example sum. See here, we are going to divide the 12 by 2. 12 divided by 2. So, what is the dividend? 12 is the dividend, 2 is the divisor. It means you have to divide the number 12 by 2. Okay. So, now we are going to divide the 12 by 2. In 2 table, 12 comes how many times? 6 times. So, here you have to write 6. So 6 2s are 12. So what is our remainder? 0. So by dividing the 12 by 2, you get the quotient as 6 and remainder as 0. Now we are going to do the activity for this division. Okay. For that we are going to take 12 coins. Okay. Here we have taken 12 coins. Now we are going to divide these 12 coins into 2 equal parts. Let us count how many coins are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now we are going to divide these 12 coins into 2 equal parts. For that you have to take 2 coins at a time. Why we are taking 2 coins at a time means here our divisor is 2. So we have to take the coins 2 at once. So 1, 2. Again take 2 coins. Give 1 to each part. Again take 2 coins, give 1 to each part. Similarly take 2 coins and give 1 to each part. Thus we are seeing there is no remaining coins. Let us count how many coins are there in each part. See here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Thus in each part we have the 6 coins. Thus we get in the sum also. See here we get the quotient as 6. Here also we get the quotient as 6 and there is no remainder. See the next sum, 13 divided by 2. So which is our divisor? 2 is the divisor and 13 is the dividend. Now we are going to divide this 13 by 2. So in 2 table 13 did not come, so we go to the 12. So 12 comes in 2 table how many times? 6 times. So 6 2s are 12. By subtracting 12 from 13 you get the remainder as 1. So while we are dividing the 13 by 2 you get the quotient as 6 and remainder as 1. Now we are going to do activity for this sum. Okay, for that we have to take how many coins? Yes, 13 coins. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, we have to divide these 13 coins into 2 equal parts. So we have to divide this 13 coins into 2 equal parts. Why we are dividing this 13 into 2? Because our divisor is 2. So we have to take 2 coins at once. Give 1 to each part. Okay, similarly we have to do for the all the coins. Okay, let us see what the quotient we get and the remainder. See here, there is 1 coin remaining and each part let us count how many coins are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Thus, in each pot we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 coins and 1 coin remains. So, our remainder is 1 and quotient is 6. See here, while we are dividing the 13 by 2, our quotient is 6 and remainder is 1. Similarly, here, our quotient is 6 and the remainder is 1. See the another example, children. 15 divided by 3. So our divisor is 3, our dividend is 15. You have to divide this 15 into 3 equal parts. Okay, see here, this is your normal division. We are dividing the 15 by 3. So in 3 table, 15 comes how many times? 5 times. So here you have to write 5 in the quotient part. So 5 3s are 15. By subtracting 15 from 15, you get the remainder as 0. So while you are dividing the 15 by 3, your quotient is 5, remainder is 0. Okay. Now we are going to do the activity for this division. Okay. For that you have to take how many coins? Yes, 15 coins. Let us count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5, 10, 15 coins are there. Now we are going to divide these 15 coins into 3 equal parts. Why we have to divide into 3 equal parts? Because our divisor is 3. Okay. For that you have to take 3 coins at once and give 1 to each part. Okay. Similarly you have to take 3 coins at once and give 1 to each part. Similarly you have to do for the remaining coins. Okay. So take 3 coins at once, give 1 to each part. So coins in the each part give the value of quotient. Okay, let us count the quotient. For that you have to check before that the each part must contain the same number of coins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thus each pot contains the same coins and the number of coin is 5. So our quotient is 5 and there is no remaining coins. So our remainder is 0. Once again see this example. 15 divided by 3. Our quotient is 5. Remainder is 0. So by this activity also our quotient is 5. Remainder is 0. Let us see one more example. 17 divided by 3. Our divisor is 3, dividend is 17. Now we are going to divide this 17 by 3. Okay, in 3 table we did not have the number 17. Okay, so we have to check for the before number to 17. So what is the before number to 17? 16. 16 also not come in the 3 table. So we go for the number 15. So 15 comes in 3 table how many times? 5 times. So in the quotient part you have to write the number 5. 5 3s are 15. By subtracting the 15 from 17 you get the remainder 2. Okay. Thus the division of 17 by 3 we get the quotient 5, remainder 2. Now we are going to check the quotient and the remainder by doing activity. For that you have to take 17 coins. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 16, 17. Okay. Now we are going to divide these 17 coins into 3 equal parts. For that you have to take 3 coins at once and give 1 to each part. You have to take 3 coins at once. Why we are taking the 3 coins at once? Because our divisor is 3. That's why we are taking 3 coins at once. Okay. So similarly we are distributing the coins to each pot by taking 3 coins at once. So at last, while we go for the 3 coins, but we have only 2 coins. So you have to stop up to this. Okay. So we don't have 3 coins. We have to take 3 coins at once. But here we have 2 coins only. So you have to stop this process. Okay. Now we are going to check how many coins in each pot. Thus each pot contains how many coins? Yes, 5 coins. So our quotient is 5 and the remainder is 2. See here. While you are dividing the 17 by 5, your quotient is 5, remainder is 2. By using the coins, we also get the number of coins in each pot gives the quotient. So in each pot it contains 5. So our quotient is 5, the remainder is 2. It's clear, children? Next, see the another example sum. 20 divided by 4. You have to divide the 20 by 4. Okay, so in 4 table, 20 comes how many times? 5 times. So 5 4s are 20, our remainder is 0. Let us do activity for this. For this you have to take how many coins? Yes, 20 coins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 coins we have taken. You have to divide these 20 coins into how many equal parts? Yes, 4 equal parts because our divisor is 4. Our divisor is 4. So you have to take 4 parts. Okay. So now we are going to divide this 20 into 4 equal parts. For that you have to take how many coins at once? At once you have to take 4 coins. Why we are taking 4 coins at once? Because our divisor is 4. Okay. So you have to take 4 coins at once and give 1 coin to each part. Okay. Similarly, you have to distribute all the coins by taking 4 at once. Okay. Then the number of coins in the each part gives you the quotient and remaining coins gives you the remainder. Okay. Taking 4 at once and give 1 to each part. So there is no remaining coins. Let us check our quotient. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thus there is no remainder. So we get our quotient as 5 and remainder as 0. Let us see another example sum. 22 divided by 4. So our divisor is again 4 and our dividend is 22. So you have to divide the 22 by 4. In 4 table we did not have the number 22. So we have to check for the before number 21. It is also not come in the 4th table. So we have to go to the before number 20. 20 comes in 4 table how many times? 5 times. So 5 4s are 20. By subtracting 20 from 22, you get the remainder as 2. So what is our quotient? 5 and remainder is 2. Okay, now we are going to do activity. For that you have to take how many coins? 22 coins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7, 14, 21, 22. Thus we have taken totally 22 coins. We have to distribute these 22 coins into 4 equal parts by taking 4 coins at once. Okay. Why we are taking 4 coins at once? Because our divisor is 4. So you have to take 4 coins at once. Take 4 coins at once and give 1 to each part. So number of coins in the each part gives you the quotient. Okay. Take 4 coins at once and give 1 to each part. Again take 4 coins at once and give 1 to each part. At last we are trying to take 4 coins but we have only 2 coins. So you have to stop this process up to this. Okay. Let us check our quotient. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what is our quotient? Our quotient is 5. What is our remainder? Our remainder is 2. Thus our answer is correct. Okay. Thus by this activity I hope children you have understand the concept of division very clearly. Okay. Thank you.